I think God and Moses both just have enormous respect for each other.
Come live with me.
White Gladiator has that big striped spear at the neck.
Look, the judges are nodding. Even the Egyptian judge is impressed.
Galileo, until recently, you claimed that the Earth revolved around the sun.
Welcome to History Bites. I'm Rick Green. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. That's how the textbooks begin the story of Cristobal Colon, or Christopher Columbus. But Columbus wasn't just a sailor, he was a conqueror, boldly going where no man had gone before, taking a sea trek across a forbidding planet. When Columbus touched down in the islands of the Caribbean, he made first contact with the Arawaks, the native people of this strange new world. He also launched what would become a full-scale alien invasion. So, let's do our own sci-fi trip and time travel back to 1492. Because where do you turn for spine-tingling tales of evil aliens invading unsuspecting, peace-loving people? Television.
Hey, Bip.
What is it?
Will you look at this, Bip?
3 bogies. Coming in fast. Too big to be whales.
What if they're visitors? Alien visitors from out of sea?
Well, then there's no time to waste. Mobilize the gift givers. When they're within range of the vessels, open presents at will. We're gonna show these aliens who they're dealing with. The Arawak. The peace-loving people who will not stand to see them feel unwelcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We bring you this special broadcast in order to bring you the latest information on an amazing phenomenon, the arrival of several ships on our island. Reaction so far has been one of innocent curiosity. These ships, apparently designed for travel outside shallow waters, landed on our shores sometime this afternoon when the sun was relatively high. So far, there's been no sign of life from inside the ships. Citizens have rushed to the beach, clutching gifts of handmade pottery and shell necklaces. Every precaution is being taken to ensure that no one has doubled up on gifts. After all, we would not want to disappoint our visitors from outer sea. But for now, every eye, every ear, every present is trained on these ships. It's been like this for some time, and the anticipation is beginning to... Oh, just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
Arawak, hold your present.
We come in peace to conquer you at will.
Here, I made this for you!
This was a Christian cross. I was going to plant it in the ground. With it, I could have claimed any territory in the world as property of Spain.
This is not good.
Come with us. We will fix you a new one.
From Columbus's perspective, the native Arawaks were clearly technologically inferior to Europeans, which meant they must also be culturally inferior, right? I mean, after all, what kind of culture hasn't discovered greed, war, and iron-fisted religious dogma?
Mr. Colombo?
My name is Columbu, just Columbu.
Yes, well, we've fixed your cross for you. We gave it an Arawak touch.
Yes, I see.
Right now, many of the Arawak people are wondering why you have come to our island.
My mission is one of utmost importance. It is not to be shared with any mere commoner. I must ask that you assemble all the kings of this land that I might explain my mission to them.
I'm afraid that's quite impossible.
I see. No doubt your kings are occupied with bloody intertribal wars.
No.
Then they're arranging politically motivated marriages for their children to tighten their stranglehold on power.
No?
Well, of course. They're overseeing the construction of palaces built on the bent, bloody backs of you peasants.
You've got it all wrong. We don't have kings.
What? No kings? But who demands taxes from you? Who enacts laws? Whose face do you have on your coins?
We don't have any of those things. We all do just as we please.
What about a duke? Earl? Baron? Knight?
We have nothing of the sort, Mr.
Somebody. Anybody who tells you what to do?
My wife?
No, I mean someone you actually listen to.
Oh, no, I do listen to my wife. She's
Truly a most primitive people. How about a pope?
a pope.
Cardinal? Bishop? Priest? Altar boy?
I'm going to ask you to stay here so we can bring you presents.
Yes. Well, I shall blend in perfectly.
Stay tuned for more of the invasion of the booty snatchers. Back in 1492, the Americas were invaded by a race of alien conquerors known as Europeans. The alien commander, Columbus, was hungry for gold, and he was convinced that El Dorado was just around every corner. But locating that gold was proving to be difficult. I mean, you ever try to ask for directions in a foreign country? Well, Columbus didn't even know what country he was in. Is this China? Is it India? And how do you say, hand over all the gold in Arawak?
Here, Columbo. I made this for you.
Oh, thanks.
Gee, don't you like it?
Well, you see, Bobby, I only like things of real value. Gold. You see, Bobby, where I come from, this means everything. And that's why I've come here, Bobby. I need gold.
What for?
Why, for lots of things. Coins, statues, gold leaf for the king's ceilings. Or you just throw in your bed and lie around in. You see, Bobby, it's a very comfortable feeling when you know that you're rich.
Oh, I see. So, you've come here to look for gold to take home and share with your people.
That's just what we tell the people, Bobby. Actually, most of it will go to the king, minus my cut.
Oh, so it's not for the people? Isn't that kind of lying?
No, it is not lying, Bobby. It's colonialism.
Colonialism? Gee, we don't have that here.
No, not yet, Bobby. But I see a better island in the future. One where gold equals wealth, and wealth equals power, and any man who has it does whatever he wants.
Any man? Even me?
No, not you, Bobby. Perhaps I should be more specific. Any European man.
Oh.
Columbus may have been confused about exactly where he was, but the native people knew exactly where they were, home. And back in 1492, the Americas were home to hundreds of tribes and millions of people. The Native American cultures were as diverse as the cultures of Europe, and just like back in Europe, not every culture was friendly.
Over on the mainland with the Aztecs, did you hear about this? The Aztecs recently sacrificed 20,000 prisoners of war to their war god, Huitzilopochtli. Am I pronouncing that right?
I don't know, Dave. I don't know him either.
Anyway, the Aztecs cut the hearts out of 20,000 POWs and threw them into a big urn and burned them up. That's right, barbecued them to appease their war god.
Oh, that's no good.
Now that's cooking. Now, see, I'm no Aztec, I'm Arawak, but I wonder, if he's already the god of war, doesn't he get enough hearts in the war? I mean, wouldn't he want to break from all the hearts of the guys killed in the wars and, you know, maybe go for some nice food or an evening out with a couple of dozen temple virgins or something?
Men, is it possible that problems with your love life are due to a medical condition? If you want to please your wife, but don't measure up, more and more men are using the lizard. The lizard is a lizard. One bite causes incredible swelling.
And now a few minutes with Andy Rooney of the Apache Nation.
You know, one of the great things about living on a continent where no one reads and writes is that you don't have to deal with junk mail. On the other hand, everything we know and learn has to be passed on to us by our elders. I used to hate that when I was young. Now that I'm an elder, I still don't like it. Talk is good, but too many elders don't just pass on knowledge and wisdom. They had a bunch of their own opinions. Kids who just want to learn how to bring down a buffalo without getting trampled don't care that in their grandfather's day they had to walk 50 miles to find a herd. A kid who just wants to learn how to stalk a deer is forced to listen to a long litany of lumbago symptoms.
This is the one you sent for, Medicine Man.
Yes, thank you. Are you the one who broke into my hut and drew this?
I am, though I thought you might have one built by now.
These pieces of cloth to harness the power of the wind.
Sails?
How can you be so sure that these sails will work?
They work well enough to get me from one continent to another. I am Columbu. Allow me to be brief, Medicine Man. Your people have discovered a precious metal known as gold. They have applied it to their jewelry and baubles. But soon a European nation will come for that gold and take it, before I do. That I simply cannot tolerate. I must therefore ask you to gather your strongest citizens to dig for that gold and then give it to me.
But Columbu, what if these citizens do not accept your proposal?
In a case such as that, I'm afraid your people would have to be eliminated.
Such power exists?
Oh, I assure you, such power exists. Allow me to give you a demonstration by making your entire island stand still.
Yes. Excellent. Although your demonstration must not hurt anyone.
That I cannot promise. Freeze. Told you I could make the island stand still. Does all of this scare you, Medicine Man? Does it make you feel insecure?
Yes, Columbu. Yes, it does.
Good.
Good evening. I'm Barbara Walter Hooper. Tonight, I bring you a special report on the future of Western civilization entitled Thinkin' Incan. Plus, John Oates looks at mummification. Is it for everyone, or just the human sacrifices? And waiter, Incan drinkin', cocoa beans. But first, is the Inca states of America in any danger from the European invaders? Who are these gold-seeking slave masters? And what sort of threat do they pose to Andean citizens? Most Incan experts say, not much. They point out that Incans live under the most complex and all-encompassing government in the continent. Our communication networks move messages at twice the speed of llama in the blink of an Inca. And our reader, Sapa Inca, the only Inca, controls every aspect of Western life, from marriage to food supply, trade and education. But is Fortress Andes vulnerable to attack? The answer is yes, according to expert opinion.
Well, the mountains are a terrific defense against people shooting spears and arrows.
Location, location, location.
Exactly. The mountains are precious little defense against a much smaller enemy that goes with the Spanish. Deadly particles, something you cannot see with the naked eye. These foreign bodies, which our immune systems have never encountered before, are deadly to us.
Really?
Incans are totally vulnerable, especially anyone who's elderly or young. These small particles carried by Europeans can enter your body and can kill you from inside.
What are these particles called?
Bullets.
Coming up, Clatu Barada Nicto in Spanish. It's kind of fitting that modern Americans put so much stock in Christopher Columbus. I mean, he was the continent's original entrepreneur, seeking out a trade route to Asia. But like any entrepreneur, Columbus was under the gun to make sure his backers got a return on their investments. And when your investors are the folks behind the Spanish Inquisition, going Chapter 11 ain't an option. So Columbus was eagerly searching for gold. When gold wasn't forthcoming, he tried exploiting other American resources, exotic new fruits, unusual animals, and friendly people.
Listen, if anything should happen to me, you must go to Gord. You must say these words. Columbu dice, si no tienen oro, trae los como esclavos. Please repeat this.
Columbu dice, si no tienen oro, trae los como esclavos. What does it mean?
It means Columbu says if they don't have gold, take them as slaves.
Oh, what are slaves?
Go!
Apparently, the Aztecs are running out of hearts to cut out, which is hard to believe because they're conquering all of the mainland. And, you know, boys and girls, it's times like this I say hooray for living on an island. Yeah? Huh? You know what I mean? Anyway, so with the Aztecs running out of hearts, we thought we'd help them out. So here's tonight's top 10 list. Here we go. From the home office in the hut on the other side of the bay, the top 10 slogans for the Aztecs Heart Campaign. Here we go. Number 10, have a heart? Dibs. Number 9, let's have a heart-to-heart. You first. Number 8, a day without sunshine is like a day without thousands of human sacrifices. Number 7, war. Put your heart into it. Number 6, cross your heart, hope to die, and we'll take it from there. By force. Number 5, thanks a lot, you heartless prisoners. Number 4, for once, it's okay to lose heart. Number 3, heavy-hearted? Yeah, that's a weight problem we can help with. Number 2, make a sacrifice in vain and aorta. And the number 1 slogan for the Aztec Heart Campaign, we'd love to play with your organ. There you go.
Stupid native people who don't deserve this tropical paradise. I am leaving soon, and you will forgive me if I speak bluntly. With the advent of sea exploration, the world is growing smaller every day. Spain's empire continues to expand, and cultures different from our own cannot be tolerated. Mine is a highly advanced civilization, one that recognizes you as savages who need to be enslaved. This does not mean that you, as conquered people, will have to give up any freedom, except the freedom to live freely. On our continent, we have created and accepted an organization for the assimilation and betterment of all indigenous peoples. It is called the Church. It is a perfect organization, one of peace and brotherhood. But if you do not believe me, I can arrange for you to take it up with God, personally. It is no concern to me how you run your island. But if you threaten to continue your godless gold-hoarding ways, this land of yours will be reduced to a smallpox-ridden wasteland. I will return shortly, but until then, I leave you with two choices. Join us and live in peace, with plenty of back-breaking unpaid work for everyone, or pursue your present lifestyle of hedonistic pleasure and face obliteration. The decision rests with you.
Lord, we're going to be heroes.
Columbus returned to the Americas the very next year. He set up a base in what is now the Dominican Republic and put the Arawaks to work as his involuntary gold miners. They tried to resist, but as any alien invader will tell you, resistance is futile. To the descendants of the European explorers, Columbus is a hero, the man who discovered the New World. And to the descendants of the Arawaks, well, they have no opinion, because within 100 years of Columbus, they were completely wiped out. It was the end of the Arawak race, and Columbus took home the gold. The conqueror got his write-up in the history books, but for the conquered, who got write-ups in the obituaries, history bites.
What can we do?
We have an army. Now I suggest we attack this new world of Europe, conquer it, enslave the Europeans, and take all their gold to decorate our temples. Because these Europeans are sun-godless heathens. They don't believe in the sun god. They believe in the Son of God. Eventually, we can rebuild their society and they can become a market for our tomatoes, maize, potatoes, and squash.
But our armies are land-based armies. How would they get across the Atlantic?
The what?